Welcome back. Now in lesson 2 we're going to embark on the first step of your Python programming journey, actually installing Python. By the end of this lesson you won't just have Python installed, you'll be poised and ready to write and execute your first lines of code. Today our spotlight is going to be on Thonny. It's a user-friendly integrated development environment, or IDE for short. It's perfectly tailored for beginners venturing into Python programming. You might ask, why Thonny? Well, Thonny is an excellent choice because it simplifies the coding process. It allows us to focus on learning Python without getting bogged down by complex configurations. It also comes with Python pre-installed, so we just install Thonny and Python's there already. We don't need to do a separate installation of Python. It includes a built-in debugger. It basically allows you to step through the code line by line, which makes it easier to figure out what's actually going on. Makes it easy to navigate and see your variables, and it has a straightforward, clean, beginner-friendly interface. If you're new to coding, it's kind of like learning how to drive a car with an automatic transmission. Minimal distractions just so you can concentrate on the road ahead. One of the big challenges when working with Python is managing packages. Packages or libraries are bundles of functionality which provide shortcuts to basically doing things, kind of like apps on the App Store. Python's flexibility and wide array of libraries are strengths, but it can be overwhelming for beginners to manage dependencies. Let's have a look at some of the popular development environments before we dive into how Thonny simplifies this process. PyCharm. This is my go-to development environment. PyCharm is incredibly powerful and feature-rich, making it perfect for professional development. It is proprietary software, it's owned by JetBrains. It does have a free version and a professional version. However, I do not recommend it for beginners. It has advanced features like integrated version control, debugging tools, and extensive configurations that can introduce unnecessary complexity when you're just starting out. Visual Studio Code, or VS Code for short. This is another popular option. It's much lighter than PyCharm. Although it's owned by Microsoft, it's free and open source. It's highly customizable with extensions for almost anything that you might need, from Python-specific support to data visualization tools. That said, VS Code still has a learning curve, especially when it comes to setting up Python environments and package management. For beginners, this might be a bit overwhelming. Spyder. Spyder is an open source tool. It's a great choice for those familiar with either MATLAB or RStudio. It offers an easy-to-use interface that lets you view your variables and data on the side, which is ideal for scientific computing. However, it's still a bit more advanced than what we need for this course. Jupyter Notebooks. This is another open source tool that offers a more interactive way to work with Python, especially for data analysis or scientific computing. You can write code in blocks, execute them individually, and see the results immediately. This makes Jupyter an excellent choice for experimenting and documenting your work. However, it lacks the structure of a typical development environment and isn't always the best tool for projects requiring a lot of code organization. Now let's talk about Thonny. I chose Thonny for this course because it simplifies everything for beginners. It's designed to be lightweight and user-friendly. It's completely free and it has just the right amount of features to help you focus on learning Python without distractions. One of Thonny's major strengths is how it helps you manage packages in a safe way via the user interface, which removes all of the complexities of a manual setup. Now, after you gain some experience, you might want to explore the Anaconda distribution. Anaconda actually simplifies package management significantly. It comes with a whole bunch of pre-installed libraries, which makes it easy to just run Python and not have to worry about your environment. It bundles together tools like Jupyter and Spyder, so you can get started with data science and machine learning right away. For larger projects, it's incredibly powerful. However, for the purposes of this course, we will stick with Thonny due to its raw simplicity. As we move forward, you'll get the opportunity to install packages with Thonny, and you'll do so in a user-friendly and safe way. Let's walk through the installation process step by step. First, open your web browser and navigate to thonny.org, and you'll see this web page. On the home page, you'll see options for downloading here. There's Windows, Mac, and Linux options, so go ahead and select the one that's relevant to you. Download the file and install it. Once the download is complete, open the installer. If you're on Windows, follow the prompts, and if you're on Mac OS, drag the Thonny icon to your Applications folder. If you get stuck, go back to the Thonny homepage, scroll down, and you'll find instructions and downloads here. This has installation instructions for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So if you get stuck, consult these guides. Here's an example of the Mac OS documentation. And if you still get stuck, drop me a message or leave me a comment and we'll get you sorted out. Now that Thonny is installed, let's take a brief tour of its interface. The large area in the middle here is where you write your code. And at the bottom, you'll find something called the shell, which will display your output and any error messages. You can toggle different views through the top menus. For example, I can activate a helpful view here called the variables view. This will show any variables as they appear when I run my scripts. Here's some example code. So this script generates a list of random numbers, sorts them, and then prints the sorted list along with the sum and the average of the numbers. I can run this script with the run button up here and see the output, or you can press F5. And what you can see is the output of running the script appears down the bottom. And with that, you're primed and prepared to start coding. In the next lesson, we'll plunge into crafting your first Python script from scratch. Remember, preparation is half the battle. Now that you've conquered it, you're already winning. I'll see you in the next lesson.